Hey everybody, today I have a 2012 Jeep Patriot with the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder, and we're going to be replacing the exhaust manifold / converter. And there's not really any good videos on how to do this, so I'm going to try to make a better video on how to show you how to do this job. So here's the new part. We got a brand new dealer one. So you can see it's got the converter built into the manifold. We've got a heat shield here we got to take out. There's some heat shields down here. Then you got 3 bolts at the top and 2 4 bolts at the bottom, and then the junction here with the front pipe. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get in here and get the oxygen sensor out, pull this upper heat shield out to try to get to these top bolts and whatever this bracket is here. Then you're supposed to take off the heater hoses, get those out of the way. A lot of people pull the valve cover, but this one guy I saw pulled the front mount. I think I'm going to go for the front mount part and see if I can rock the engine down to give myself extra clearance to come out. This is solid metal, so this does not come out. I was hoping that maybe this piece would come out and give you that extra room, but it does not. So I'm going to go ahead and take the oxygen sensor out and this top heat shield, and we'll get a light in here and show you what I'm doing. So I took the top heat shield off and the oxygen sensor out. The oxygen sensor plugs into here. There's a 10mm nut on this stud that's a heat shield. So you push that back. I just bend that out of the way. And then there's this stud that's a 13. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. And hopefully that will take this engine lift bracket off also. Then I'm going to take the heater hoses off to get them out of the way. I also, this was here, this is what holds the engine cover on. I took that off. So let me continue on. Alright, I want to show you all this real fast. Here's the upper heat shield. Here's the oxygen sensor that goes there. Here's this bracket that was bolted here that goes down to hold the power steering hose out of the way. These bolts are this long because they fall through this bracket, and then the lower heat shield has the nuts in them. That might be a little bit of a pain in the butt to reconnect. So just to let you know, there's a heat shield underneath that comes falling out. Well, but it actually doesn't come completely falling out. It is still, see it? It's still stuck there. So you have to put this in before you put the manifold on. Alright, like I said earlier, I'm going to try to take the front mount out down here. So there's a 13mm bolt here, a 13mm bolt here, and a 13mm bolt here. So then I'm just going to take the washer bottle, move it out of the way. The power steering, we got the bolt out. Now this lifts up so you can get this up out of your way to get to the bolts. And then I disconnected the washer fluid barrel. I'm not sure if there's another bolt down here or if it just slides in. I think it just slides in. I'm going to need both hands to get the washer fluid barrel out. Let me get the washer fluid barrel out, and we'll work on this mount and start taking the bolts out of the manifold, go up in the air, and then we have to get these bolts out down here. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you all, this one is a 4-wheel drive. So here is where the intermediate pipe bolts to the front pipe right here. So we're going to take these 2 spring bolts out, and if you look up there, reaching through here, you can see here is that heat shield that is trapped in here. And the reason why it's kind of trapped in here is because of the, I guess you would call it the differential or the transfer case. So this is going to have to go in before we mount the converter back up. So that basically just fell down. So there we go. So up here, I don't know if you can see my finger right here, there is the top manifold bolts. The center one is a 13mm, and then the 2 end ones are 14. There we go. Let me see. Can I get the light perfect for y'all guys? There we go. Let me see here. All right, right there are two of the bottom manifold bolts, and you can see the nut at the very top right. I already took that nut off. That top nut's a 14 millimeter, and these two nuts down here look like they're 13. There's two 13s on the other side. We take this off, and then the manifold should be loose. I haven't taken and broke that motor mount loose yet. I'm going to see what I can do before I do that. If I have to, then I'm going to have to take this whole big shield off underneath the car. All right, I'm using my 3-foot long extension and a swivel 13 impact up there to get the bolts out. Let me see if I can. There we go. Zoom in. This is how I'm getting them out. I'm breaking them free with a long ratchet and then using an electric ratchet to unscrew them. This is the last bolt I had to take out. So let me get this one out, and the manifold should drop down. So I was incorrect. Here's the converter. There is another bracket right here. There's another, looks like a 15 millimeter bolt here, and another 15 millimeter bolt there, and then two 10s that go up into the manifold. So if I walk over to this manifold, I'll show you. Yep, it's right here. It bolts on here. So we're going to go ahead and loosen the two at the motor, and then take these two out because the manifold's not moving because I forgot to take the bracket out. So I took the bracket completely out. You have a 13 millimeter bolt on that end, a 16 millimeter bolt there, and then those two that bolt to the manifold are 10 millimeter. And I had to take the plastic shield down, so now you can see the converter is off its mount and it's loose. So now we're going to come down. I'm going to finagle with it before I break the mount loose, but now the converter's free, and then I have to figure out about that heat shield, how I'm going to fish that heat shield out. Probably do that from the top. So I got the lower heat shield out by lifting up on the manifold and then putting it in this position and then sliding it out through here. So as you can see, manifold's loose, it's there, but the problem is that bracketry that holds the bottom of the manifold from moving, that is what's keeping it from coming out. If I do what that one guy says and drop this mount, the motor will drop low enough so I can slide it out. Let me play with it a little bit more and see if I can get it out. If I could hook you guys up somehow, I will hook you up and I'll come back. All right, so like I said, here's the manifold. I can get it up about this far, and then this bracket here hits. Somebody said that you could take and if you disconnect the heater hose, which I haven't done yet, you can rotate this thing around to get it out. But the pipe's too long and it's caught underneath the firewall. I'm going to continue to play with this and finagle and see. I don't think if I take this heat shield out against the firewall is going to give me anything. And I really don't think taking the heater hoses off are really going to help me at this time. So, alright, let me set you back in here. I'm going to go ahead, get a floor jack, get it underneath the motor, and I'm going to go ahead and bust this mount off. Looks like there's a couple 16 and either 17 or 18. Get this out so I could drop the engine down. So I got in here and I removed the big mount and the bracketry. So there's the bracket and there's the big mount. I have a floor jack supporting the engine right now. And I decided to take this piece out. So here, let me grab it. This sits here like so. So I was kind of thinking that this bracket might come down and hit it. So with this out of the way, it'll let the engine down farther. Let me lower the engine down and we'll start seeing if we can get the manifold out. Alright, so as you can see, even with this mount down here completely taken out and the engine down, it's still, the manifold is trapped here and against the cylinder head. I still think I might have to take and pull the valve cover. Gonna work out a little bit more. I have a big pry bar in this mount right here to try to pull the motor forward. I'm gonna get somebody over here to help me pull this forward and see if I can get the manifold out. Alrighty, as you see, I've got the manifold flipped around. I snuck this end by the heater hoses and got it up here. It still won't come out. This stupid bracket that's welded onto the catalytic converter is in the way of clearing the valve cover. I think I'm going to have to pull the valve cover. Going to pull the valve cover off, and that pipe should come right out of there. Alright, so I had to take the valve cover off. You have to rotate the manifold around this way, and I'll give you all the money shot. Just with that valve cover out, this will now clear and come out. So even though I took the front motor mount out, the motor doesn't drop down far enough to clear the valve cover. You have to take the valve cover off. Got the valve cover off. Now the manifold slid right out. Let me put the new manifold in, and I also took this shield off against here. It's three nuts. Let me get the new manifold gasket, and we'll put it back in. I guess it would have been easier if I would have taken the heater hoses off, but I didn't know if it was really going to help me or not. So now I just need to get it back on the other side of the two heater hoses. There we go. Alrighty, everybody. You got to take the valve cover off. You got to take the mount off. You got to flip the manifold over to get it out. You probably should take the heater hoses off. I did not take the heater hoses off, but you probably should take the heater hoses off. So now that I have this back in here, I'm going to go ahead and get this all bolted back up before I put the valve cover back on, because this does give me a little bit extra room. But there you go, everybody. That's how you get the manifold out on one of these 2.4 liter Jeep Patriots. This is how you get the manifold in. This is the first video that I see that they actually show you how to get the manifold back in or out. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You can always do that right there in that corner. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Please give me a thumbs down if you don't like the video. Please like, share, and comment. And thanks for watching.